Alright, so for people that are new to the channel, this deck, like many of the decks that we play, is a viewer submission. This is basically a green-black deck with a double splash in it for Winota. So cards like Lotus Cobra and Gilded Goose are good at facilitating splash colors, Lotus Cobra especially. We do have some tri-lands here that make our different colors of mana. Winota is not banned in Standard, so this card was banned in Historic for a very silly reason instead of banning Angrass Marauders, but it is still legal here in Standard. So when a non-human creature you control attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You can put a human from among them onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. It gains indestructible till end of turn. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So this card's very good with Lotus Cobra, because you play Lotus Cobra on 2, and then on turn 3, you play a 3rd land, which gives you a 4th mana to cast Winota, and then you attack with Cobra and trigger Winota. Now, what humans are we getting? We've got Demon's Disciple here. That makes each player sacrifice a creature Planeswalker when it comes into play. Got Acquisitions Expert to make our opponent discard. We've got Blackbloom Rogue, which is a human/land split card. And we've got some Thundering Sparkmage, deals X damage to target creature, Planeswalker, or X the number of creatures in your party when it comes into play. And then we've got a cheeky Veteran Adventurers here at the top end of our curve. So this isn't like the old Naya Winota decks that were a terror in Historic. This deck is purely looking to kind of just generate value and put pretty fair cards into play with Winota. Let's go ahead and dive on into some games here with this and see how it goes. Eventually, I will remember to not instinctually click on the Historic button. It's been a long time since we played Standard around these parts, chat. Yeah, the Cowards Can't Block Warriors card is good in general. We just don't have that many red sources in this deck, so I don't really want to play a red 2-drop. How do you feel about the new flip lands? The new flip lands are the best addition to Magic the Gathering in the 20 plus years I've been playing the game. Sorry, I'm a liar. The 18 years I've been playing the game. Almost 20 years. We'll get there. Huh? I think I used Demon Disciple here to trade Goose for Worthy Knight. Do you think flip lands will replace basics eventually? No. I don't think that at all. Gonna put Goose into play here. Putting Goose into play is good. Should we draw Winota? We played blue-black rogues that had mill to enable aggressive cards. It felt okay. Oh, this is the party symbol. That's cool. Mill decks are basically never competitive, JMP. Unfortunately, only have 2 party members, so can't quite kill this with Thundering Sparkmage. See any red cards out of them yet? You could just be playing white-black with that as a dual land, basically. I feel like if they were on Cleave, we would have seen some other red sources by now. With the available mana, Ember Cleave is almost free. Citation needed. That's pretty good. With the loss of Shockland, splashing red cards is less free than it's ever been before, chat. Think we just play this to shrink the Oathsworn? Yeah, I agree. In general, equipment attaching when they come into play I think is a good thing. Makes them a lot more playable. Cleave was a little bit too pushed, but in general I think that design is good. Yeah, I'm supposed to hold on to Goose here so I could trigger Winota if I draw it. Alright, just as like a fair warning, you're a 2-year sub here, you should know this. If I ask you for a citation on a statement that you make that's mathematically unsound, don't make that statement again. Don't double down without showing me the math. I'm wrong on, my gut's wrong on the math on occasion, but... yeah, we're just dead. I can play this and I can gain 3, but then we're only at 10 and we're taking 10 in the air. I would actually be very surprised if my opponent was playing Ember Cleave with them playing both Demonic Embrace and the Flying Hammer. I think it's pretty unlikely that they're playing both of those cards as well as Cleave. And again, splashing a red card with the mana bases that we have right now is the furthest thing from free possible. The mathematics on what you need to play Cleave consistently by like turn 5 or 6 are really tough to meet. Especially when like your dual lands only make 1 color once you put them into play. I think I want Armored Killer here. I think I'm going to trend the Acquisition Experts. I might bring in some Scoozes, just like okay blockers. They fight the Demonic Embraces too. Let's try it. Let's try this. Lightning, thanks for the 12 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. We have a Scryland at least here. You eat mono red with 4-color greed pile. Does your 4-color greed pile include 4 copies of Uro? Of course. Well, it's really not that greedy. Does it also include the landfall creature that gains 4 life when a land comes into play? Omnath gains 4, right? If I'm recalling correctly. Yes and yes, sure. So like you probably have a good aggro matchup. In fact, kind of a fundamental problem with designs in recent memory is that there's really no punishment for being greedy because incidentally these decks are just good against those. Like the decks that would normally be considered greedy incidentally gain tons of life. Pretty sure I'm on the no blocks here. So that way we can draw an untapped land and trigger Winota next turn with the Scoos. I've lived a good life, slay me. Going to 10 here. We'll play Winota and get 2 triggers with these. Hopefully hit some friends. You have a Heartless Act here. Dire Tactics. Yeah, that's rough. Devil, thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Winota's too strong for Historic, though. Can't play removal. Yeah, basically. There's no creatures in any graveyards because of Casket. Gross. Are we done restarting after every match, Arena? Hey, Devil, I'm doing all right. A whole global pandemic and Arena being Arena aside, we're in a pretty good spot. The before times and the long, long ago. Long time ago. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. We only got to play like 4 matches in 90 minutes because of server issues, but the games we played felt really good. Because it had issues and because it had so many points behind that, I put it back in the queue so we can play it again once we get through some of the other standard decks we're waiting to play. This deck's got a lot of tapped lands in it. This hand's a keep because these are lands, but... yeah, I can't even imagine what the West Coast is going on right now. I've got the Biden-Harris ad in the ticker, but for the love of God, vote out people that are climate deniers. Preferably vote in progressives that are going to push for the new Green Deal. Yeah, definitely, Bled. Definitely. In fact, Bernie, if you would like to dual stream, Bernie Sanders just went live on Twitch. Well, so you need to understand, Vernash, like, politicians that conflate weather and climate change, they're not stupid, they just know that their voter base is stupid. So, like, they understand, they just don't care. They get it, they just don't care. I'll take a 5/5, thanks. The fires are being caused by coordinated arson. Good lord. It's not even only just the Supreme Court that's being swayed, JMP. Like, the GOP has been very well organized, taking over lots of state and local governments as well. They've been packing the courts all the way up. They've been playing at the long con for the long time now. They've been very well organized to know exactly what they're doing. Opponent played some green cards. Maybe I'm bringing in Claim. I don't really have that many sack outlets. I'm not quite sure what they're doing. I might just run it back. They are inconceivable, Raccoon. They only function by virtue of an entire classes of people being very wildly uneducated and believing in conspiracy theories. The whole villainizing Antifa as a group is so strange too, because like it's not like they're a club or an organization that has memberships, right? Like it's not a group, right? It's an ideology. Like, it's not like there's dues-paying members of Antifa. Sixty years ago, if you were just American, you were Antifa, because, you know, we went and punched Nazis in the face. Grouping people 75 years ago. That's a long time. Listen, not very good history buff, okay? The last year's been a decade. Then explain my membership card. Alright, so I think we're doing this. It's unfortunate I can't Sparkmage to kill this turn. I think I'm just Woe Stridering. Maybe I'm Acquisitions Experting so I can Sparkmage. I guess I can Sparkmage to kill this extra damage. I think I want to Sparkmage for 2. I don't think so. That's a 2-drop I could have potentially wanted to kill. I guess we're just doing this and killing the Cobra, and then we'll play the Rogue as a land. We have 2 creatures in their bin, and we have 2, so the Scoots can get very big very quickly here. Is Oregon where those people stormed the government building with guns because they wanted a haircut? I'm pretty confident that happened in multiple states. There have been anti-mask, lockdown in lots of different places. I believe it definitely happened in Michigan. I believe it happened in Iowa and a couple of cities in Texas as well. The haircut thing's an exaggeration. I mean, it wasn't the only thing, but the permission to be able to go get their haircut was definitely one of the freedoms that they were protesting for. Super dead. So far, this deck feels pretty mediocre. These party cards so far just not feeling like constructed playable Magic cards. And like, maybe they're fine when Winota's flipping them into play, but so far, when we're like drawing Acquisitions Experts and Thundering Sparkmages, our cards feel much weaker than what our opponent's doing. Oregon is where 11 state senators vacated their seats and threatened to shoot police officers who came after them rather than vote on a fire safety bill. America, my home and native land. Stand beside her and guide her. Do 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 do. Okay, so Mad Song Runes as a draw here means that any untapped land I can Winota next turn, but I can't trigger Winota next turn, right? So playing her is not that useful. Hangman MTG, thanks for the 28 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. You know, it's really funny. Like any good parent, I talk to my children, and we've been getting the kids used to just like wearing masks when we go out. So like whenever we take walks around the neighborhood, or even if we're just out in the backyard, I always make the kids put one on just so it becomes normal for them. And Declan asked me the other day why we're doing that, and I just, you know, explained to him that like it's the nice thing to do because if you care about other people, you wear the mask so you help not get them sick by accident. And his gut response to that was, well, we should wear them around the house too then, right? It just the sweetest possible kid. Just like, here's the explanation is like, oh, well, this is a good thing. We should just always do this. And I was like, and then I tried to explain to him that like, well, we all live together and have the same germs, so that didn't matter really. But yeah, like, if my 5-year-old gets it, Mr. Silicon, thanks for the 43 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So they probably have a removal spell for this, so I think the play this turn is just like goo. Oh, they only have 1 green mana, right? Can I just kill this with my party card? If they kill this in response, I don't kill it. All right, I'm gonna Goose into Disciple and Edict this. Endlessly restarting is the only solution. Have you considered being luckier? Being luckier is a strong line. Much like many games of Magic the Gathering, logging into Magic Arena is a very low player agency experience. Whether or not you are able to successfully get in is mostly outside of your own control. You just gotta cross your fingers and hope for the best. Oh, Winota's a warrior. She counts towards party. That's funny. Hey, congrats, Lightning. Alright, well, I mean, we got on the scoreboard there. Winota got to do her thing. We do the dance. We do the restart dance. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Look at that. Look at that. It started loading up on the first restart, chat. See? This is why I'm a professional Magic the Gathering player, chat. Lucky professionally. Shake them bugs out. Alright. Got some untapped lands for a change. That's nice. Easy keep. I get out of my 8th restart, spent my gold, opened my packs, not touching the game until it runs normally. If I'm adding the mythic lands to a deck, should I start by, my gut says probably 3-1, like cut 3 spells and 1 land. This will be our white source. This is our red source. How many courses per semester did I take? I did my master's degree full-time immediately after undergrad. Had the choice between being an adult and getting a job and going to grad school, and I chose going to grad school to start. So I took 3 to 4 classes a semester for a year and a half or so, however long it took. I forgot. It's been a while. I've been done with my grad degree for almost a decade now. Oh, the Triome is already white. You're right. Is the client still borked? Of course. Wouldn't have it any other way. Nailed it, chat. Get that sweet, sweet Demon Disciples to kill her out of here. Yeah, my grad degree was actually the first time I wasn't working full-time while going to school. I worked as a TA part-time, like 15 to 20 hours a week, but during all of undergrad, I worked 40 to 60 hours a week, so that was a big change of pace.
We will adapt to any threat.
It's another Thundering Sparkmage. Does Sparkmage kill itself so Fiend Artisan's a 4/4? Nah. So they pick 2 cards from their hand. We get to discard one of them. Let's scry looking for something. I want a Thundering Sparkmage here. The Acquisitions Expert could take another card out of their hand here that has some appeal to it. I think I'm bottoming that, though, because I'd like to try and find something that keeps my Fiend Artisan alive on this attack. So I'm going to split these up so they have to choose between killing my Fiend Artisan or saving their Vivian. If we find a Sparkmage or the Edict creature, we get to get them. Has Standard been all ramps so far? It is not. It's been a good variety of things. It's also early though, Gorks, and like again, the ladder is largely people experimenting for the first couple of weeks, so like you shouldn't ask people if Standard's good or bad for the next week to 2 weeks at a minimum. And if people are trying to tell you they know the answer to that question, they're either not very bright or they're trying to sell you something. And either way, you should be cautious of what they say. That's a Terror of the Peaks.
Seems I need to evolve too.
Yeah, I'm supposed to attack with this. Am I okay trading Winota for these two? Think so. I don't know what I'm playing Saturday, but my registration is for Uro. Fair warning. I'm giving my people picking coverage matches on Saturday instructions to avoid having Uro on camera for as long as possible. So, ideally, we're not going to have Uro on camera until there is an Uro in every match remaining. Which is a point I assume we will get to on Saturday eventually. How does one get the streamer luck to play this game? It's gotta be luckier. Well, we're double elimination, so people that are losing don't start getting dropped till round 3. So... is that supposed to make someone less or more likely player? I don't know. As far as coverage, chat, we're increasing the number of people involved in the production on Saturday by 25%. We're going to be a 5-person production crew. 2 casters, my wife is a TO, Andrew running time-shifted matches, and then Wargy Corgi's going to help us pull features. Because they volunteered. We've seen a lot of Uro today. We've not. We should probably be playing 4 of these cards. There should probably just be 4 Turntimbers. Cards real good. Tradesies. My Winota. Oh my god. Wait, did they just miss lethal? They just missed lethal. Well, they could have dealt 17 to us. Instead, they're killing Fiend Artisan. I don't think we could win the game anymore. But anybody looking for things to do on Saturday, my opponent's deck looks great. It's got Uro and Terror of the Peaks in it. Gratis! Thank you for the 17 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I did hear that Lilith. So it's a low bar, but we managed to clear it. How does it deal that much? Well, the dragon deals damage equal to the creature's power every time it comes into play. So Uro comes into play twice there, so it deals 6 and 6. Which is 12, plus the dragon attacks for 5. Aye, Sir Calbino, thank you for the 5 months. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, sounds sweet with Croxa too. Hey, that's the red-black mid-range deck I needed to build. Sounds hot. Need 4 more cuts here. Got acquisitions experts, just been real bad. Yeah, if you're someone that's not certain on this format, waiting to see what the results are of my tournament this weekend, the Channel Fireball tournament, the first couple of standard events, see how things shake out before putting dollars into the machine is probably not a bad idea. There are not any house bans in the open this weekend. I'm gonna repeat this a number of times, I think, but I do not ever intend to house ban stuff in standard. If standard is bad to a point where I feel it needs house bans, we just won't play it. We'll just run historic tournaments. If historic is also terrible, we will do house bans in historic. Yeah, it's pinned in the Magic Arena channel in the subs Discord, Tom Tracy. Where do I send my dollars to let myself log in? No, it's still you have to restart the client every match, and you have to restart the client multiple times to get logged in. Terror of the Peaks is the dragon we were talking about. Our previous opponent was playing with Uro. Bone Crusher Giant or something here? Nope. Lotus Cobra is very good. You're not wrong. Speaking of, I think I'm going to play this and kill theirs. If Wizards of the Coast valued their customers and didn't view them as human ATMs, they would definitely give compensation to every Magic Arena player for the 8+ hours of issues, the 10+ hours of issues their servers have had today. I mentioned this on Twitter. I play a lot of the game Raid Shadow Legends, and they literally compensate their players for basically every issue their servers have, is give you free stuff like they should. So, it technically doesn't cost them nothing. There's technically an opportunity cost because some of the stuff you give your players for free is stuff they're not going to spend money on. The problem is they don't seem to understand that doing that builds goodwill with your community. So in the long term, the potential money they're losing is going to make them money in other places by building goodwill. So I could probably kill them this turn, right? So we do this. Then we activate Fiend Artisan for X is 4. Sack this. Get triple triggers on Winota. Hit me, dealer. Hit me, dealer. Opponent does not want to wait around to find out. I think I'm happy with how he boarded. I'm gonna run it back. Do I want Armored Killer? I guess this technically kills the Dryad, huh? The Lost Lurgoyf, thank you for the 27 months. Welcome back. I don't know. We have a lot of sacrifice outlets in this deck, Andrew. Like with Woe Strider, it seems fine. This deck's actually kind of light on actual mana sources, huh? We've only got 18 lands, plus 4, plus 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We only have 25 mana sources. I probably want the last Turntimber at a minimum in this show. Yeah, that's why I said Woe Strider, Derek. I didn't mention the Fiend Artisan. Woe Strider's a free one. I think I'm mulliganing this. Mana's not great. Let's tap lands. God, it's so hard to parse exactly what's in your hand. This is technically keepable, right? I have all my colors, technically. The Murder Land is really good. You're not wrong. Murder Land is a quality Magic the Gathering card. Murderland, great magic card, terrible theme park. Yep. Lotus Cobra, Fabled Passage. Yep. What payoff is in your hand? Well, they're not anywhere near escaping this Uro. So, yeah, they're not doing a whole lot here. I get to put this second Fiend Artisan into play and play this tapped, and then, like, next turn I get to double trigger Winota, right? Have a Brightclimb pathway for our white source. It's a pretty good payoff. I would go to Murderland. Good beats. Okay. Yep. This is turn 4, by the way, chat. For those of you at home counting my opponent's lands in play at the moment, this is their 4th turn of the game. So now I'm going to start my 4th turn and play my land for the turn. 6, 7. So they have the mana to cast Genesis Ultimatum here. Opponent is taking us to Murderland. Yep. You're not wrong. Hey, thanks for the 27 months, Eternal Witness. I forgot Conundrum was a card. How has this felt so far? Kind of mediocre. Our payoff's kind of low. The party cards are kind of individually weak. This is going to come as a stark surprise to many of the Magic players watching right now. But the games of Magic we haven't played against Uro have felt good. And the games of Magic where our opponent is playing Uro have felt mediocre and bad. Glad to see Obnath has branched out to get some Cool Ranch Doritos on one hand. And again, you have to restart after every match. And you have to restart several times to get back in sometimes. Sadness on the stack resolves. Thank you for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. The rotation of the stop ramp for being dominant. Oh, my sweet summer child. They have not, Golden Ringer. I think I'm going to be done with this one. Just to have a summary here at the end where we talk about it. These party cards are just pretty individually weak. The only card that felt kind of on par power level to get with Winota was this. I think if there's gonna be a playable Winota deck in this format, I think there's a good chance there is. I think playing like Kenrith and the 6/1 for 4, the Achilles heel card, are probably the ones you want to be playing. And this whole package. And Lotus Cobra was good as expected with this, but just like these humans, these party-focused humans as hits were just too individually weak as far as cards go. And while they were fine to flip into play for free in the games where we like actually had to draw and cast them for their mana cost, it definitely felt like we were playing draft cards and our opponents were playing constructed, and our cards just were not good enough to keep up in terms of power level. All right, I'm going to slog through at least one more deck tonight. If they fix the server issues before this deck is done, I plan to do one more after this, but I'm going to go ahead and hit a quick ad roll, like everything set up and flipped over. When we get back, we are going to play some red-white party. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere.